to gold 3 and then I immediately go back down towards gold 5 again. And so
Yep.
I'm just trying to get off that yo-yo because
Yep.
I never really took comp seriously until more recently, just because I enjoy playing Ana so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are like, wow, you're really good with like your cooldowns and your nades and you hit some crazy sleeps. Like, what's your rank? And I'm like, silver?
Yeah,
You know,
makes
and I was
sense.
like, silver? And they're like, oh, really? And I've played with people who are like plat and diamond, and I had someone that I played with that was like, I want to carry you out of silver and gold because the way that you hit shit like is like Anna is kind of crazy because like I need you in like my plat my plat lobbies. She's like,
Yeah.
you had so many offensive nades that like changed the game for us that I'm like, thank you. And she's like, I don't see Anna's and plat hit that sometimes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd love to get out of gold if that's what you're trying to say, but I
Yeah,
also don't
sure.
want to be carried. Like I want to do it myself because
Of course.
I have a friend who is a viewer as well who is champ Lifeweaver.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if you know his name. It's Aesthetic.
No.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
a champ. He was ranked 16, I think, at peak in Lifeweaver. And
Nice.
he's like, oh, it's not hard to get you out of silver. We could do that. And I was like, no, I'm not having a grandmaster carry me. I want to do this on my own. It's like, in my opinion, that's like using aimbot and cheating. You're not really doing it. The champ is doing all the work.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, I'm gonna get the coaching. I'm gonna see what I need to work on. I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell me it's positioning, which I'm well aware of, and I try to be more conscious of that. But I do fall into the headspace of playing in with the team instead of back more.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, well, I mean, the good thing is the kind of how you're describing things, a lot of it's probably just due to execution and maybe some information stuff because it sounds like you have the concept that I should be trying to take responsibility for myself and my pressure output, like whether it's anti-nades or damage or just looking for sightlines, right? So like you kind of already have an idea of what you ought to be doing. Then it's just going to be coming down to the consistency of that execution. And just for what it's worth, like the whole yo-yo effect that you're describing is pretty normal. Gold 5 to gold 3 is like a very, 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 very small skill gap. So it's the same when mode, like 2 tiers in really any rank, it's a pretty small skill gap up until you get to about Grandmaster. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. That's just normal RNG, normal luck. Basically what happens is you get a little bit unlucky or you have a little bit of a bad day. You drop to silver 1, gold 5, right? And then at that point, those games are just a little bit too easy for you to lose too often, right? And so you win. And then you get to gold 3, gold 2, whatever, and you're like, okay, these games are a little too hard for me in my current skill level. And then you start to lose again. And that's just kind of how it goes, right? So what we need to do is we need to shift your tolerance level so that you're fluctuating from gold 3 to gold 1, right? And then gold 2, plat 5, and then and so on, if that makes sense. But that fluctuation will
totally
never really go away. So just keep that in mind.
And I know that gold is like statistically like the most flooded area too in the game. So I'm like, I know that my player pool is so high.
There's a lot of gold and plat players for sure. Okay, so how long have you been playing Overwatch?
Jesus, I like hardcore playing it probably the last year and a half, but I've been playing for a couple of years now.
Okay, so what pivoted for you? Why is this like now serious?
Honestly, no pun intended. Honestly, it's probably because I just enjoy playing. I enjoy playing Honest so much.
Fair.
And I really enjoy like empowering my team. Like my husband's the tank for us.
Right.
And so like being with him being an Orisa main, I know horse main, sorry.
That's right.
With him, watching him pull everybody in and then throwing a nade on him so it splashes out to everybody to watch him get like a big 4K. And like the excitement that he has, like that's what I enjoy doing. Or the excitement of, knowing that the Reaper's being suspicious or the soldiers flanking and kind of just shutting that down before they can do anything. It's like that stuff gives me excitement. Or just being able to like see plays and help move people. And like that's kind of one of the reasons why I think I enjoyed her so much is because she's not just an old lady who puts out healing. She is kind of a shot caller too. Like if your Ana can see things that are coming and see the big picture because your tank's got the blinders on, like that's kind of what gets me excited because it's like, okay, guys, they're probably going to drop ult here. Watch out for this. Like, oh, we got the Rhino who's got Shatter, Reaper's flanking. Like seeing all those things and conveying that to the team, I feel like has been really fun. And it's almost like problem solving too, because it's like, okay, we know that this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. What do we have with us right now that can stop this from happening or help to mitigate like the outcome? And being unemployed has also really helped too.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Sounds good. I mean, Ana's probably my favorite character as well, so I respect that. And in terms of rank goals, we talked about where you're fluctuating. Goals where you just want to, if it, mostly it's like gameplay goals for you. It's like positioning, confidence with cooldowns, leadership, playmaking. Not really any specific rank goal in mind.
I'll be honest, I'm not too worried about, and I don't want to sound like egotistical, I'm not too worried about confidence with cooldowns because I've watched like probably every single Ana video that you've put out for coaching, like all kidding aside. And I've never felt like I've had an issue with the cooldowns. I've tried to I've taken into consideration, like there was one that you did where the person was playing on Blizzard World and you were talking about like, let's throw that nade, like let's use that sleep dart, like just send it, see what happens. And while I was watching the gameplay, before you even said that, I was like, oh, I would have eaten a nade down that lane. Like I would have thrown it down there just to see what happened. Or I would have sent a sleep dart. So I did get mad. I was a disgruntled employee when they added that 2 seconds to the nade, because the amount of times that I would hit the button and look down and there was exactly 2 seconds. And I'm like, the muscle memory's there. You ruined it for me. You ruined it. But yeah, so I think it's leadership, positioning, and maybe, I guess, like team fight tackling. Like there's a game that I picked where we definitely were staggered a lot. I know that. Trying to group up, being left alone because the tank was pushing, or, the supports maybe should have peeled better. So like it's figuring out how to reset the team fight, because the rank that I'm in right now, the other reason why I would like to get to maybe plat or a little bit higher is because I'm at a rank just now where skill level can get you to gold. And there's not a lot of map knowledge at like silver and low gold. So a lot of people will stand, like I literally had 3 games yesterday where someone was standing next to a health pack on King's Row and standing in the corner looking at me saying, I need healing. And I literally was like, dude, can you please just go around the corner? I have a crit tank, another support who's low in front of me, the other DPS who's taking damage, and to turn and look at you to take my eyes away from that is hurting the rest of the team and letting the enemy team continue to push us back. So just having to be able to play with people who have more map knowledge and maybe a little bit more self-sufficiency would be really nice. Because the amount of times that I get flamed, because I typically as an Ana player will go pretty close to even with my damage and healing. I'm never really a heal bot, and I'm never really a DPS. I go DPS more than anything, but I would say I try to stay pretty consistent to both, because I know the value that she has as being a DPS support. And, the amount of help that I can provide as well as the amount of healing that I can provide is something that I've always kind of tried to balance with her. So that's kind of where I feel like I get flamed a lot, because people are like, how do we have an Ana that only has 6k healing? It's like, but I had 5k damage too.
Yeah.
And 7 sleeps at a 60% accuracy and 8, grenade kills. Like you're only seeing the healing. You're not looking at every other value that I added to the team. Right.
There's this weird dynamic where like you have to not displease your teammates, but if you think about like what is a lower rank player, they're generally players with lower levels of mechanics or lower levels of game understanding. So a lower level player is more likely to have a warped view of how the game works. So if you're doing things that are objectively correct, you're more likely to run into brick walls with those decisions in low ranks. I mean, people have misconceptions about how objectives work, about how taking map control, healing versus damage, even like counter swaps. Like people don't know how to actually effectively counter swap or when not to counter swap. They'll counter swap the random thing that they saw on TikTok in 2019. That's completely irrelevant, but it's just like stuck with them, and they'll just do something really, like I see people swapping Bastion into Orisa. I see people swapping Sombra into the most strange situations possible. And that's kind of like you said, the health pack situation. Why aren't you healing me? Well, I'm in the middle of a fight. So it's like the thing with those situations, it's like you kind of have to just do your own thing at the same time as your team, right? Like, and you have to just be willing to accept that there's going to be some people that are going to kind of trash on you no matter what you do. I've had some students, for example, that really had an issue with like being way too, for lack of a really better term, subservient. Okay, so they whatever the team wanted to do, they did it. So whether they swapped or heal bot or do this or do that, just basically they were the whipping boy of whatever the team wanted. And it's really funny, like talking with some of those players, because they run into just as many flame issues as you do.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like one of those situations where it really doesn't matter what you do, you're never going to please your team. Because
No, that's true. I mean, I tend to do my own thing when I start to see
right,
if I
that's
see the
not your
DPS
problem,
isn't
right?
DPSing, if I see the DPS not DPSing, and I'm playing with one of like my friends or something, I'm like, hey, can you go more heal bot because I'm about to DPS because we clearly don't have one.
Right,
Like, I'll start doing things like that too. So, but I mean, I recently have been flamed by a Genji for. I wanted to tell you this because I felt like you would laugh pretty hard. I was flamed by a Genji for being one of the worst Anas he had ever seen because I was scoping to heal my teammates.
Oh, yeah, that never used
And
to
he was
scope.
like,
That's
"What
just,
on a scopes?" He's like, "You just hip fire and throw your nade at us. Why are you wasting it on the enemy?" And I was like,
it's a bad part of her design. The scope is an accident, and it's actually not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to use it ever. So yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, it makes it so I guaranteed heal you. He's like, if you're that bad that you can't heal me with a hip fire, play someone else. Go play Moira. And I was like, what rank am I in right
that's
now?
Classic. That's classic. That's classic. That's just when you hit him with a, why are you gold? You know?
But he was playing Genji into Moira, May, and Azaria, and I was like,
that's not great.
Problem, sir.
Yeah, that's not great. I mean, I guess that's my point, right? It's like, it doesn't really matter what you do. So if you put any of your attention into like what your teammates are saying, like you're just going to be running in circles. So it's like, it's all execution based. It's all execution based. And then we'll go from there. So in terms of playtime, obviously, like you said, you have more playtime right now. You're getting a few hours every single day. Are you confident with how you're training in terms of efficiency right now? Like, do you feel like I'm doing, like, how much I'm playing, the amount of Ana that I'm playing, the amount of tank? Because you play a little bit of everything, I'm sure, just for fun. So how does it go right now?
So I predominantly play support. I'm hardcore support main. I found that I'm better at tank than I am at DPS. With Hanzo's recent buffs, though, I got pretty good at him, but I mean, everybody did. But overall, I feel like DPS is my weakest role, so I tend to play a lot of support. And if our friends are like gassed on playing tank, or if we have a couple games where the tanks are just really bad, I just get frustrated, and I'm like, I go full Thanos mode. Fine, I'll do it myself, and I go play tank. But I just enjoy support because of like I said, the amount of value that you can do. I mean, when I'm not playing Ana, I play Lifeweaver, and more recently I've been dabbling with Lucio, which I know is such a crazy dynamic. I had a really great moment the other day where I was torturing this poor May on Ilios as Lucio, and they were like, "Lucio, please stop." And I was like, "I'm an Ana main," and they like crashed out in the game chat, and they were like, "There's no way an Ana main is diffing me on Lucio." So it's kind of like a really nice moment because I've always been nervous to play him because his movement, but I play probably because, like I said, unemployment, and also I stream as well. So like it's between on stream and offline, I probably play Overwatch at least 8 hours a day, and I'm not exaggerating. Because we do games online, we'll do games after stream, and I do late night games with other friends who are awake or flip schedules. So but we do play a lot of quick play because I have a lot of friends on console. So I feel like when I play quick play, it's so much harder than comp. I'm not lying. It's so much harder than comp lately. But I feel like those are my practice things. When we're not playing like in games, we'll play, like 1v1 arena and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that I do like a lot of like warm up. I know you mentioned playing in a couple of videos, playing team deathmatch is a great way to warm up. So I don't really do that much of that. I probably could do more, but with the amount of quick play that I play versus comp, I feel like those are kind of also good practices because the scenarios are wild because everybody's playing everything, and sometimes it never makes sense. But I guess if there's something that I could ask you to help myself and my team better, is our team always struggles with either a high damage output team. So like they went like Soldier, they went Bastion, they went, Orisa, like so much damage that it's like with the DPS passive, we can't out heal it, right? So it's like, how do we stop that to then turn the tide? And also we struggle really hard with Winstons. I myself am I have a hard time with Winston. So what would you say would be the best ways to combat those types of scenarios?
So generally, let's focus on the high damage one. Generally, the way to beat high damage is to be really disciplined, number one, about like when you're engaging, like not standing in the open, not taking unnecessary damage, using cover and so on. But one of the factors that are almost always associated with high damage comps, like whether those are snipers or Zenyatta or honestly Ana, Bastion, Orisa, Soldier, like you said, right? These characters are really fragile and they're not very mobile. With the exception, I guess, Soldier, right? So what ends up happening is things like flanks or catching and jumping on top of them or basically closing the distance using cover and angles really, really strong. And that's something that even you can do. So if you think about like Bastion, good on a ruin Bastion. Orisa's obviously a little bit tough. Soldier can be a little bit tough as well. But, you know, Hanzos, Widows, these are characters that you don't necessarily need to duel, but a nade from a flank, nobody's going to stop you from doing that. There's no Tracers on the angle. There's no Reapers on the angle. There's no Winston that's going to dive you. You know what I'm saying? So one of the consistent themes of those comps is that they're just very, very, very fragile to being flanked and very fragile to people using cover and then just closing distance and ruining them. So, for your team and for you to a lesser extent, use cover, be really disciplined, and synchronize your pressure at the same time, and those things will fold instantly.
Okay.
So it's just like if you're standing in the open, if you're taking unnecessary damage, if you're not using flanks, those comps are going to be broken, and they are really strong in lower ranks. Those characters are really strong in lower ranks. But as you start to get better at covered and angles, they just fold. Like it's really difficult actually to play Bastion in higher levels because of those kind of reasons. Now, Winston is kind of the opposite. So you're kind of the higher damage comp versus him, right? You want to poke him out early. You want to poke him out often. You want to get some distance on him. You want to shoot him. You want to punish him. When he uses bubble, your priority should be on living, whether that's nading yourself or finding cover or, you know, sleeping him or whatever. And then after bubble, he's, again, really weak. So Winston's what I like to call a tempo character, where he's really weak before bubble, really weak after bubble, but bubble might be one of the most powerful cooldowns in the entire game. It's super, super, super difficult to deal with the Winston that's on top of you bubble. So your priority should be to live during that cycle.
Okay.
But yeah, as an Ana player, just, you know, try to maintain distance, but don't be AFK. Try to pressure him and his team early. Live his dive.
No, I almost, as soon as I see a Winston, I'm like, yep, that's coming for me. And I'll sleep him. But then I'm like standing there, like kind of like the John Travolta meme, like, well, this is my life now. This is my life now. That was fun while it lasted. Because they almost always get mad when they get slept, and then as you try to run away, even if you sleep them, they just jump again, and then you're like,
For sure. But then we could start talking about anti-nade, right? Like, were you able to get a couple of shots in? Can you anti-nade him after he jumps? So like he pursue jumps, and then you shoot him and nade yourself. Like you can. It's a very, very, very high skill matchup between you and the Winston player. So it's definitely something that I think Winston has a slight advantage on for sure, but it's something that you can definitely get better at.
Because I mean, I don't have a problem taking a 1v1. I mean, I've 1v1 Doomfist before. I've 1v1 Divas. I 1v1 to Sigma the other day, and he started the fight and I finished it. Like, I don't have a problem taking the 1v1, and because it's a mental game and all about cooldown management. And because I have the muscle memory with the sleep and the nade, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, who's got the bigger ego? Right. But Winston, I just feel like because he has that one jump can make him get out and get back in 2 seconds. And then also chase me down so much faster than I can run. So that's why I always like feel like I struggle with him. If I don't have a team that's willing to turn and be like, oh, you're getting jumped by Winston, let me help you. So I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on like what I could do. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying what I should probably try to do is manage the cooldowns with sleep him, try and get to cover, get away, but save the nade for if he chooses to dive me.
Yeah, either one. Like if he chooses to dive you, you can sleep him. If he chooses to dive him, you can nade him. I would just be careful about like you can use both if you can get the killer, if you can force him out. But yeah, I mean it's a tough matchup for you. The key thing is to actually land the nade and to actually land the sleep. And usually what that means is most Anas that I work with, when they're being dove by Winston, they kind of panic. But that's going to kill you, essentially. If you're full HP and Winston's diving you, the only thing that's really going to burst you down is if he lands directly on top of you, and even then he's not going to one-shot you. So a lot of Anas I know very, very panicky with sleep, very, very panicky with nade. They rush it, they miss it, they end up dying, right? So the biggest thing versus Winston is staying calm and just focusing on hitting your CDs. Just stay calm. Like you'll be okay.
Yeah, no, the bounce grenade is my best friend.
Right. He's not going to one-shot you.
I'm constantly throwing that directly at the ground below me, so I can hopefully get that second splash when he's doing more damage. So that's been my best friend. So well, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just staying calm. It's a skill matchup, and you just have to stay calm. And then if you fail it, the good news is you can always go, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that. But you get the repetition. It's like it's not like a Widowmaker across the map. It's like, what could I have done without that? So. Okay, I guess last thing for you is two things. One is you're playing a lot of Overwatch right now. What I would do is I would definitely recommend you segmenting your practice time a little bit. If you've seen all my VODs, right, you've heard me talk about this, right? So practice time is not a problem with you. It's definitely going to be, what I'm concerned about is that you're spreading yourself a little bit too thin in terms of like when actually is my practice time. So what I would recommend as a general spirit of the approach towards Overwatch is that you should approach a couple hours every day, even just an hour every day, a couple games, right? As like your dedicated focused practice time where you're playing just Ana or just Lucia or whatever your support goals are, right? And you're working on a couple of skills, which we'll get into in the replay code, right? Okay. And I'd prefer that to be ranked, and I'd prefer that to be solo queue whenever possible. And then after that, do whatever the frick you want. Streaming, playing quick play, team deathmatch, off-rolling, tank, DPS, whatever. In fact, it might even be better to avoid your mains. You don't have to. It's really not that big of a deal, but don't feel bad about not playing Ana after that. Like, the big thing is that you got your focused hours on Ana when it mattered, and then after that, you just played the game. You just had fun, right? That's going to be the biggest thing, and then obviously going in specifically into those ranked games with a purpose. Like, I'm practicing this skill, or I'm practicing that skill, essentially. But yeah, I mean, that would be my general recommendation. And then how you want to extrapolate that. Like, if there are some people that are like, I want to go pro, well, I'm like, okay, well, then you need to have like a 4 or 5 hour segment where that's focus practice, right? But for you, it's like you don't need that much time at all, right? So for you, it's like, it might just be an hour, it might be a couple games, it might be 2 hours. It depends on what that day feels like. But I would try to prioritize that on its own time, and I would definitely try to prioritize that earlier in the day if possible. So the sooner that you can get that done, like 5 minutes warm up, totally fine, just get right into it. The sooner you can do that, the better. Because if you're trying to do your focus practice at like 10 o'clock at night, you know how it's going to go, right? Like you don't have that energy in you. I don't have that energy in you. I don't know anybody that has energy in them. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, no, that's good to know. Thank you.
And then the last thing here is things that are holding you back. I don't know if this has changed. You talk about mentality. We already kind of talked a little bit about setting up team fights, like the strategy about that. We'll get into that in the replay code. But what about mentality you feel like you'd like to work on?
I guess for me, it becomes disheartening when you feel like you're doing a lot as a support and you're watching your team spam like, I need healing, or GG's no heals. Like, I had a game the other day that like literally, I think it was yesterday or the day before that I played, where they had banned Ana and they went ball. And our DPS were not turning around to take care of the ball, so the ball was diving the backline. So I'm trying to play Lifeweaver so I can have mobility to get out, but still output enough healing to my team, because, he has a lot of healing if you get the right movement, and I'm pretty comfortable with him. So I was like putting tree down because I was like, I know I'm going to get dived, so at least there's healing. Like, I was trying to do things, and the first thing that I got was, and then I was like, okay, well, let me try Moira then, because I need more mobility to get away, and I could send an orb to you guys. So I'm like trying to think of things that I can do.
Yeah.
And the DPS is just sitting there saying, you're not doing enough. Why aren't you taking care of the ball? Why are you playing two of the worst characters against ball? Like, you should be doing more. And I was like, well, then can I get help? And he's like, well, who do you think is going to get the kills if I'm doing if I have to stop to take care of ball? So that gets in my head where it's like, okay, well, what could I be doing more? What couldn't I be doing? Like, why aren't you helping me in a team game? Yeah. So I think it's situations like that where it's expected that the support is supposed to take care of when they're being dove in the backline, still put out healing, and then at the end of the game go, GG's, we lost because we had a crappy Moira Lifeweaver. And it's like, but they, first of all, they banned my main. I'm sorry. I know that we shouldn't have mains, but we do have mains. They banned my main. The massive counter to ball, like, they banned it. Like, so now we have to think as a team of what we can do to mitigate it. But then you're saying that it's all my fault. So it's like, that gets to me mentally. It's like, okay, I think I'm done for the day, because it's like, I do start to feel like maybe I could have done something different.
Right. That to be honest with you, isn't so much of a mentality thing. I really strongly think that's just your training environment, because I've been there. Like, I was in bronze. I've been in silver. I was in gold. It's like, I mean, this was my first-person shooter, and like you, I wanted to try to pick characters that were like interesting and fun to me, like Genji and Ryan and a little bit of Zenyatta and stuff, right? And then I ended up picking up Ana and Plat, and I know what it's like, man. Like, it is a dumpster fire down there. Like, it is. The game quality is definitely lower. There's a lot more volatility. There's honestly more toxicity in Plat that I think than any other rank, right? And gold. And it's tough. And I think for me, like, the most important thing that I did wasn't toughen up. I just removed the source of distraction. I just stopped joining voice and I stopped joining team chat. I used to be like the super shot caller guy, right? I just stopped doing that. And I just started focusing on my own gameplay. And not that I wasn't a team player, like, I put a lot of attention onto like looking at what was happening on my screen, like where are my teammates, where can I position, where can I position, right? Trying to combo and all that kind of stuff. But like, I'm telling you, like, I've worked with people that are like, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't distract me. My wife's one of them. She says that she doesn't distract her. But like, I think even if it doesn't like irritate you all the time, I still think it's a distraction. I worked with I think just yesterday I did some live coaching with a student, and he had team chat on. He's like, oh, they're trash talking. He's like, that doesn't bother me. And I was like, yeah, but you're reading it right now. It's like, I need you listening to me. I need you focusing on what you're doing right now. It's like, we don't have time for that. Like, the guy that's AFKing your health back, you're not going to heal him, but we don't have time to talk to this guy and explain your thought process. You don't have time to coach your Genji that, like, hey, I'm on Lifeweaver versus ball. I'm not going to be able to kill this guy, right? So like you don't have time for that. So don't devote resources to that. And I think like that's, you can't be a daycare worker and also play Overwatch at the same time.
But according to every DPS main, that's what supports are supposed to do. They're supposed to take care of everything.
Yeah. The big thing is you just have to do your job the best that you can, and if you are doing your job the best that you can, and you're doing it consistently and developing your strengths and covering your weaknesses, you're just going to rank up, and then that's just going to be that, right?
Okay.
It's real. I just think it's really important to do that. Like, I don't throw your pearls before swine, right? Like, if you're playing with your friends, your teammates, you guys can communicate, coordinate however you like. You can really find the team aspect of Overwatch. But I think if you're going into a solo queue rank expecting that level of like positivity, I think it's pointless. It really is. It's not that team plays doesn't exist. It's just it doesn't exist through communication. Not verbal communication anyway.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because like whenever you like watch other people play and you talk about like it being a team game, everyone's like, well, if you get in comms and you help each other and you talk through it, like you're opening up that dialogue to be able to see something that you might not have saw before. So I think it's interesting that you say like, get rid of the distraction, don't join the team chat, don't really read the text chat stuff, because it is kind of like the opposite of like what I would think to like create that team dynamic. Like we work as a team, we move as a team. Like, so I think that's going to be an interesting thing to try, because like I've always been of the mindset of like, there's no I in team, right? There is a me, but there's no I in team. So like being able to call out, hey, I've slept a Winston, or, oh, the supports are getting dived. Like I'm thinking that that's helpful, but maybe it's not. Maybe I should just like, hey, it is what it is, and just let it go.
Let me give you the best analogy that I can possibly give you. Okay. If you're trying to move somebody from a house to another house, right? You're helping your friends move, right? Yep. You're like this big, burly, super strong dude, 300-pound bodybuilder, right? Yeah, exactly, right? And you could throw beds around like nothing, right? You're the guy that we always wish that I had when I was moving stuff, And you're moving grand pianos. If you show up to the house, only fools, only like inexperienced movers are gonna be like, yo, we should make this guy make sandwiches for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And pack up the china. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what silver and gold players want, right? They see you and they're like, you know what would be nice? I don't like packing china, so I'm gonna go do something else. You help me pack this china, And that's what they think, right? They think that the big burly dudes should pack the china, right? And you have to sit there and you can't sit there and argue with them, because if they were better movers, they'd be professionals. They're just noobs, right? The real movers, the professionals, are going to go, okay, this person's good at this. I'm just going to let them do their job. And for you, what you're at risk of is your job is only to do what your character does best, to show up, provide support to your team while moving the big burly pianos, if that's what your specialty is, and just keep your mouth shut and just do your job.
Okay.
Keep your mouth shut and do your job. Now, that doesn't mean you don't heal your team, because you know what? Anna's really good at healing her team. That doesn't mean dealing with divers, because guess what? Anna's pretty good at dealing with divers. Doesn't mean you don't nano your teammates. She's really good at that too, right? Like you have all these team play things that you do, but you do them because you think that you're good at them, not because your teammates want to micromanage you. How dare they tell you how to play your character? You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I look at it, is the lower rank players don't understand what you do best. They don't understand your strengths and your weaknesses, not just you as a person, but also you as a character. And so you should coordinate with them to the extent that it works for your character. Don't fit a round, peg into a square hole, kind of a thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you're sitting way in the back and, just AFKing and playing super passive, and you're playing Ana, that's probably a mistake, right? If you're, same thing with Lucia, right? If you're life weavering, and you're not taking any space, or you're not using your pedal because you're doing, again, like you're not life weavering, right? So you got to know what your character does best. You got to focus on that and not let other people kind of shift your perspective, because their perspective is silver. Their perspective is gold, right? Their perspective is not accurate. You got to focus on what you need to get better and trust the system.
Okay.
And like I said, I think people overestimate team play, but also underestimate it, because I think like when I was climbing up the ranks in silver and gold, like there was a lot of great team play. Like I really made an effort to be flexible with my positioning depending on where my team wanted to fight. Like if my tank pushed up, I would find a way to push up, right? If my DPS want to go in, all right, I'll nano you, right? Like I'll nade that backline for you, right? Like if my team won't peel for me, then fine, I'll peel for myself the best that I can and trust that my teammates will do the job, So it's not that team play doesn't matter. It's just it's sometimes a little bit unorthodox with how we like to think that it would be optimally, I guess, is the way to look at it.
Well, then I guess going with that and the mentality idea, like what if we get into a game and like I'd like to think I have pretty good pattern recognition, which is why it's easier for me to call out like a Rhine or, Reaper, Soldier, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
if we get into a game and it's pretty obvious that we're about to get diffed, like, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like the supports, or not the supports, the DPS are all over the place. Like the team, there's no one playing with each other. They're all doing their own thing. The tanks maybe just get mowed down, or there's too much damage getting put out. Mentality wise, with a game like that, do we just do what you can and leave, or do we really try and make a conscious effort to, like, because I mean, you're going into the game, you start playing and you're like, wow, cool, so I'm about to derank, even though I could do everything in the world, I know I'm going to derank, and it's like, it's not because of me, but it just gets frustrating because it's like, I know that I played a good game, but my team isn't playing well. So how do you like overcome something like that, where you're just you go in and you're like, great, now I just know that we're about to lose?
Very simply. Okay, so it's the analogy we can use here is pick up basketball, right? You show up to pick up a basketball, your teammates are clowns. Like they're clueless, they're not communicating, they're just all egoing the basketball. You go into that game and you go, okay, I need to work on my dribbling. I need to work on my defense. I need to work on my shooting form. I need to work on my spatial awareness. So like depending on how people are swinging out, I swing to the opposite side and so on. And regardless of whether it's a win or loss or whether they're being cohesive, you have that skill set that you can train. That's what Overwatch is. Overwatch doesn't have practice outside of playing the game at full speed with full consequences. But the good news is that you could play hundreds and thousands of games. That's not realistically and going to happen in any other sport, right? So you go into an Overwatch game, and the goal is not to win or to perform or to have a cohesive team experience necessarily. That's the end result. The goal is for you to practice whatever specific skill you wanted to practice. Like you talked about your positioning, your lifetime team fight awareness, and so on, right? Like these are skills that you can sharpen even in a completely bonkers game.
Okay. So treat it more like a practice of like, well, I know I need to work on this, so let's work on it. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
And you do that with every game. You do that with close games. You do that with games that you're easily winning. You do that with games that you're easily losing, right? You stay true to whatever you're focusing, because ultimately sharpening those skills is what's going to make you a more well-rounded, better player. No one game should be like, I need to win this game. If you want to do that, maybe do that with quick play with friends, because it's kind of more fun to put in that team effort, right? But when you're working on your individual skills, you're working on your individual skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. You want to look at some codes here?
Yep.
Let's look at this win here. Let's start off with this win. So why this code here? Why this particular code here?
Because it was one of those games where it felt good. Like everything felt like it was working. The team was working. We were making good progress. Like the movement was good. Like some crazy shots were hit, so that was always fun. Nice. But and I was playing solo, and I don't usually play solo games. I started playing more solo comp games recently.
Yep, you should.
This was one where I was playing solo, so I was like, you know what, let me just see how this goes. And it ended up feeling like a really good game, and we had really good holds and good team fights, and like, so I just felt like this one was a really good one for me.
Okay, great. The reason I like solo specifically, I like the lack of distractions from normal team play things. It allows you to focus not on team play and just focus on your individual skill sets, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying that solo is always best for fun, but it is good to get solo games in occasionally. Quick question for you. What is your mouse's DPI and in-game sense? Do you know?
My in-game sense, I think it was 3.5, and my DPI is 1600.
Okay, that's fine. It's a little high, but it's probably fine.
Well, I had it lower before, but then I felt like I wasn't able to turn and hit shots, so I actually raised it recently because I played around with it. I was like, maybe it's just me. So I raised it a little bit recently, and then I started hitting more sleeps and more able to turn around a little bit more. So I was
it's fine.
Playing with that too.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, it's totally fine. Like the nades, like the shots, a little bit spooky with cover, just because there's been moments where, like, if you got shot more than once, you would have died because it took you too long to get near cover, but beyond that, it's okay. Yeah, this is fine. If I've got nothing to say, I ain't gonna say anything. So, this is, by the way, one of those high damage comps. Like this is exactly what you're talking about, right? Orisa, Bastion, Soldier, right? And what's changed is that you've been able to hit some offensive shots and hit some anti-nades, which has immediately taken pressure off of your Ramatra, right? Which is really good. So.
Yeah, the life weaver saved me a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. And I think that's why I said like positioning is one of my issues, because like sometimes I'm like, okay, I can't see my team, and I know that in one of the videos, I thought that was gonna hit.
It was close,
in one of your videos, you mentioned that oh my god, I lost my train of thought now. Oh god, what was it? Nope, it's gone. I'll figure it out later. It's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. It'll come back to the station.
Yep. In one of your videos, you said move with the team and don't expect them to move for you. Like when there's line of sight issues and stuff like that, move with the team. So that's what I was trying to do a little bit in this game too, was move with the team. So like being in, like I said, being on that like weird little building over on the side.
Yeah.
I know, like you said, it's out in the open, but I was like, okay, but I'm getting shot up here. At least I still have line of sight. So that was something that I was trying to think about too.
Yeah, it was more about cover rather than your rotations, because I think your rotations in terms of like where you're moving to is fine. Just be closer to a corner. But yeah, I 100%. Okay. And then like here, for example, dropping is probably not the play. Just because you've lost your sight line. Nano's good. He's full. Little detail. Okay, so this is just a little bit of micro. I would avoid nading Orisa if there are better targets available, just because she has so many ways of tanking through your nades. She's eaten already at least one of your nades with her javelin spin. Fortify, nade to force fortify is okay, but like if she's already fortified, she just isn't really going to take a lot of damage anyway. She even has her ultimate. So I would say nade and Orisa is fine, but like, for example, if you take just 2 seconds here and look around, you go, oh, you know, right? That's probably a situation that demands nade instead.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Just a little detail.
I think it was more of like a panic nade, like the ram just took off, and I was like, here's a little something in case you get too far.
Yeah.
I probably should have held it in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, while you and I are whining about 14-second cooldown nade, what it means that it's okay to wait a couple seconds to just make sure that the situation is optimal. I wouldn't save it if you see a good situation, but that doesn't mean you have to like zoom it right away. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys are pumping out a lot of damage. Like, you're looking for good sightlines. You're doing good damage. Yeah, this is fine.
Sorry, that's sometimes you'll see me stop. It's because I think I hear something and I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'm watching for the flank, so you'll see me stop sometimes. I'm like, did I hear something?
That's fine. I respect it. Paying attention to what's going on. Okay, so this is kind of one of those positioning things where I don't mind where you are right now if it's near cover, but it's another one of those moments where you're trying to nade Orisa, you don't have a great angle for it, and then you end up getting body blocked by Ramattra. I'm going to be clear. If you don't hit this nade right now, you're going to lose this fight, like almost certainly, right? Like this is really important that you hit this nade. You know, it's a support ult, your ram's in the open, it's whatever. But the big thing is that you had a nade, and now we've missed 2 of them in a row because we've A, either gone for Orisa, or B, haven't had a good angle for it. Like nade is, we talk about Winston Bubble being one of the most impactful cooldowns in the game, nade's up there, right? And if you miss your nade because you're just in the wrong position, that's you're screwed.
I knew I was going to get pulled in, that's why I started running.
Yeah, it was smart.
The Reaper did try to dive me. I was pretty happy about this one.
Good sleep. Yeah, it was good sleep. But yeah, all of that, the reason this feels so stressful, no nade. If you hit that nade, this whole fight goes significantly easier. The reason you didn't hit the nade is because you're aiming for the wrong target, and then obviously weren't in the best position to do so. That's why tiny little off angles, like going a little bit to the side here and there, is really good for Ana, even just high ground, because it's just going to stop you from getting your nade body blocked as much as it does.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this is good in terms of like we're looking for offensive output. I've seen you fishing for sleep darts like this, for example. Nothing's really diving you, so you might as well use that sleep dart. You're definitely trying to use your nade. It's been good. I don't mind that defensive nade there. That's not bad. I don't have anything against defensive nades if they're necessary. It's fine.
The Lifer did throw me off a couple times when they like pulled the ram, and I was like, where did he go?
There's that 2 seconds of nade.
Yep.
Nice sleep. Nice sleep. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it. Yeah. All right.
What are your thoughts on jumping as Ana? I know there's a lot of torn where people are like, don't jump, don't jump, try not to jump.
Don't jump.
I do it out of reflex, but I'm trying not to. I was an avid jumper before.
Yes. So the only time that you've jumped in this fight where it was been relevant is when you were being dove. You notice that? So the jumping wasn't a problem until you were a lot of pressure to hit your shots up close. Then you started jumping. So there's 2 reasons why that's the case. Number one is your brain is so focused on hitting shots that you're kind of panicking, so you're going back to old habits. Or number 2, you feel like there's some value in it. The latter, I can tell you, no, there's no value in jumping basically whatsoever. There's some very, very niche circumstances where a jump can be useful, but they're not even relevant bringing up right now. The big thing instead is that when you are under pressure in duels, you tend to jump. So maybe that should be something that you practice either in ranked or in deathmatch, TDM, whatever. Because those are situations where you're going to be 1v1ing people up close a lot, right? So that would be a good opportunity for you to go in, warm up. But I'm not just warming up. I'm actually trying to work on my jumping habit. So I'm keeping my feet in the ground, and I'm strafing instead. You got me?
Okay. Yep. Because I mean, like, I also, I'm a huge fan of the crit headshot. So I feel like when I jump, it makes it easier for me to fire the headshot.
Sure,
so I think that's part of it too.
But that's also because your crosshair would be too low. You see what I'm saying? So like instead, just pull your crosshair up a little bit rather than, because the thing is, the jumping means you lose control of your strafing, which means you're easier to track. So
Okay.
you want to control your strafing to make it harder for them to hit. And you might think, oh, but isn't strafing going to throw off my shots? Yes, but the difference between strafing yourself versus strafing an enemy is that you know that you're strafing. Your fingers are controlling the strafe. So what you could do is you can go shoot, 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 shoot. So you can actually shoot off of whenever you feel like comfortable with the strafing. But basically TLDR is the jumping no good, practice in deathmatch, practice in TDM, and practice strafing instead. Don't jump, strafe instead.
Okay.
Very lucky with the balance. It's the same thing. Don't nade a full HP Orisa, essentially, if there's something else available. And I would say that's
I was hoping to push them back to get the Sojourn out. I think was my thought process on this one.
It's a good to look for a nade here. But with what you have on your screen right now, where should that nade be directed?
Probably at the Sojourn.
Oh, it's the Ana, or the Sojourn, right? Basically, it's this. If you're gonna go for anything, go for this. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to this, because look at the aggression of both of these targets. You know what I'm saying? If this Ana gets naded, she's screwed, right? She's screwed, right? So it's not that nading tank bad, but if you have a choice between a squishy that's playing aggressive versus a tank playing aggressive, unless more often than not, it's going to be pretty good to hit in the squishy.
Okay, and I know I waste my nano here, but it was because I didn't want to lose another person, so I to get her out.
I don't think it's a waste. I think that's hindsight. I think it was a good idea. She was aggressive. She definitely needed the help. She slid out. It's unlucky timing. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all about intentions here. So if the intention was good, then I'm a fan. Good try with the sleep. We still get the Orisa. Good stuff. I like when you're using sleep, so you're not being dove as much. So anytime that anybody gets even remotely close, you just look for the sleep dart, and that's good. I saw some new perks got released today. I'm going to be looking at them on stream, so I wonder if Ana gets any new ones. Oh, wait, we know she gets some new ones. I forget what they are.
Yeah, well, she gets the serum boost where she gets the 40% speed boost every time.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's going to be a must pick. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. I'm really sad that they moved the bounce to major, though, because I wasn't a fan of Groggy. I felt more confident. I feel more confident in my nades than I do my sleeps. Like, I hit sleeps, but I feel like my nades, once I have the bounce, I have more confidence in them.
Just pick the nano one. Pick the nano one.
So just gonna have to pick the speed boost pretty much. But
speed boost, and then you could do crit or bounce nade, but bounce nade's going to be insane because it's going to do a ton of damage.
Oh yeah, that I'm excited for. We'll say that. Yeah. But to have to pick between the crit headshot and the bounce, I was pretty sad about because I'm one of the few that like the crit headshot. I find that the times when I would use my nano, I'd have nobody around. Like if people are like, oh, but you have self nano, yeah, but I still have to have a target to be able to use it.
Sure.
And the times where I'd want a self nano, I was usually by myself being dove, aka a Winston. So it didn't do me any good. It was kind of waste. So I at least got the value of doing a crit shot because I mean when I'm dove by a Sombra, I can hit the sleep, and if I can hit one crit headshot and a punch and a nade, she's dead. Like it's literally so easy to get rid of them. So that's why I was like, I like the crit, but now I'm like, I'm gonna have to go with the bounce, and the crit's just gonna she's gonna go up on the shelf, I guess.
Yeah. It's gonna definitely take some nuance here. This nade's okay because if you look at like you have your nade here, but let's take a second to pause. What's on your screen right now? You know what I'm saying in terms of enemies, right? There really isn't any outside of Tracer and Orisa, right? And your tank that's trading. So this Orisa is already fortified, yes, but this nade makes sense because where are the other targets that you could be offensively pressuring? They're not on your screen.
Yeah, so and I was also thinking if I could nano, if I can anti the Tracer, I could maybe get her to back up and blink out.
Right, and you hit your tank at the same time, so it's the best of both worlds. So this is, I don't want you to never nade enemy tank. I want you just to be thoughtful, be like, is there a better target available? Like, if not, anti-tank, and this is fine. This will be very effective. And that was really good too. You wait out the fortify, you go for the sleepy aim just a tad high, but you definitely got it. There's the jump. You see it? As soon as you get dove.
Yep.
There it is.
I was like, what's gonna be my one? I was like, what's my one thing that I have? I was like, it's the jump. It's the jump.
Well, it's not just the jump. It's also this, right? You're under pressure right now. Look at where your attention is right now. Where should your attention be right now?
Probably the squishy behind to get rid of the
this right here, right? Or even this right here, exactly. Like this is an Orisa, she's full HP. There's nothing you can really do about that if you don't have sleep dart, right? Like, or if anything, right, you should be sleep darting her, right? This nade is not only like mechanically atrocious under the pressure of this fight, which to be fair to you is very stressful, right? However, it's more important right now that your attention is going in the wrong direction. You sleep this, otherwise you ignore it, right? This, however, is way more important. and you reacted late to it. Nice shot, by the way. Good shot. But it's just way too late, right? Like that nade should have gone there. That shot should have gone there. And so this whole fight feels atrocious because of where your attention is going. So it's kind of like a lot of straight crazy things are happening. I'm just going to set my eyes on something nice and easy, which is that Orisa, right? And that's something you want to avoid, right? Because even if you die, okay, fine. We died to Orisa, no big deal. But I'm going to get that Tracer. I'm going to get that Ana, right? Good shots. Good sleep.
I looked. That was me looking at him, going, "Well, sorry, buddy."
Yeah, nothing I can do about that.
There's nothing I can do about that.
I would take the time to rotate back to top here. Yeah, good stuff. Yep, and then you could just. So what you could do from here is just keep top and rotate here. I know you'll be a little bit slower, but it's worth it. But I appreciate you pushing forward. That's good. Good nade. So yeah, I mean, kind of as you described, your a willingness to use your CDs and to do damage is really, really quite good. Even the nanos, right? Like this is fine. I don't have a problem with this. The problem comes down to the execution of number one, your cover. Number two, that jumping under pressure. And number three, your attention when you're under stress can be very lazy with where you're putting your eyes. Like, and it's usually tank, and that needs to change. Good? Yeah. See, this is your responsibility. Right. Beautiful. Because the thing with Tracer is once she's out, she's no longer effective. So you can kind of see it like right here, right? Like she's still in, but because you forced her to recall and to back up, she can't really go in very aggressive right now, so she's not much of a threat. So right now, you can afford to stop what you're doing, and again, nade Bastion, not Orisa. Bam, right? So we get both. And then you can focus on healing or damaging. I don't know why you're backing up here. I think you had that angle there, but this is a really good fight from you. No, this is nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is very effective. You took a lot of pressure off of your team. Yep. Again, I like what we're trying to do with the sleeps. Good nade. He's gonna die, but oh, maybe not.
No, Weaver actually grabbed him by his weave.
Yeah, that was good. And this is the positioning thing. What ends up happening is your tendency is you want to be behind your tank with a good sightline, but you don't have to be behind your tank. Where should you stay here? So post Bastion, where should you up? Right, so stay on an angle, right? You don't have to be behind your tank. So you're respecting distance, which is really good, and you're not playing a million miles away. That's also really good. But you don't have to be here. Like there doesn't have to be a straight line between you and your tank. You staying here is going to be a lot safer than you being here because you are not the intended target of this. He's just looking to kill a tank, right? And to be honest with you, he's dead, right? There's nothing you can do. But what you can do is hold space here and help your team or kill the backline. Right? So you're a casualty of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that has consistently been hitting you because you're standing behind your tank. Not directly behind your tank, but not on an angle, essentially.
Okay.
I want you to think a little bit more selfishly. Let's look at your bad VOD here. So we'll look at a different situation here. Just to mix things up here. Any questions so far?
No, I mean, like I said, I knew it was going to be positioning a lot, and so now like it's like you said, like it's okay taking off angle versus being behind.
Yes, correct.
And that's something that that's something that I was like trying to focus on too, because when I first started playing Ana, a lot of times when I would play up higher, I would just get smoked. And so I feel like it's like you said, it's kind of that muscle memory of like when I'm jumping, it's kind of like well, if I'm up here, I'm probably going to get rocked. So let me not do that. Let me get down and behind. So I think I just need to kind of trust myself a little bit more than where I was too.
Yeah. To focus, like this is kind of what I was saying about the toxic team play thing, where you're like a little bit too focused on like helping my ram, and then you kill yourself, right? Like the best thing you can do to help your ram is to play a position that's optimal for you, and then help your ram maybe from that position, right? So you're like what you're intending to do a lot with your cooldowns looks pretty nice, right? Like, but we knew that already, right? It's the problem is the execution of where you're doing it and how you're doing it's not always pretty. Like, for example, right here, right? Like, it is not your job to move over here to deal with this. It is not your job to move over here and deal with this. It is not your job to even stand in the back and heal your tank. Your job is to find whatever position that you want, whatever sightline or angle that you want, and then just the pressure from that angle. So like right now, where would that be right now? Like where is a good effective sightline for you to do stuff right now? Like let's just kind of give you the vision that you would have here. Where is that?
Maybe the door next to the car, because then I have the cover of the car and the door right
like
there
here?
as well.
Like here?
No, a little more to the right. probably.
So like over here?
Maybe over here, because I can see the team. I can also see my team as well.
I'm gonna be real. This one is fine. This one is also fine as well, because you just have a good sight line. You have cover. That's it. Like really, either this or this is fine. Like it's actually really not that complicated right now. You don't have to get crazy. So don't go out of your way to go after this person right now, right? This venture, like this is not optimal for you. Like you will deal with venture when venture gets to you, but that's not your responsibility right now, right? Because this isn't this is not a good spot for me to be. You're in the open. You're dealing with like you've arbitrarily decided that venture deserves your attention right now when venture's not doing anything right now. You need to focus on shooting D.Va or nading that cast behind D.Va Matrix or angling with my tracer. Why? Because this space is good for you as on. It's open, it's sightline, it's cover, right? It's distance, right? And so, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's always kind of a gamble, right? What I would try to do versus the D.Va, it's the same thing versus the Orisa, right? Like every freaking tank has a solution for it. Not everyone, but like this is why you don't use CDs on tanks unless you need to, right? So like here, it's like, okay, you slept D.Va, not great. Okay, but look at what you can see. Can you see it? See the cast? See the Mercy, right? Look for a nade off here. Probably more likely to land and just as effective as nading tank, if not more so, right? Because he's also
Kobe the nade back a little bit more rather than directly.
Or look for a different angle to where you get an easier nade, right? To where D.Va has to either matrix you or your team. Basically, like number one, you're kind of standing in the open right now, and number two, your attention is still almost exclusively on the tank. Right, and not what's going on around laterally. So you were
I'll admit that it's partially because I don't like D.Va tanks. 87% of the time, the D.Va that I play with just takes so much damage that it's like it's not helping the team. You're actually creating more work.
Correct.
Very rarely do I play with a D.Va where I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, this is working. We're moving. Like so I tend to struggle with D.Vas.
Right. So where is the D.Va taking damage from? At least your D.Va. It's Cass, right? It's whatever's here, right? So that's who you should be nading. It's not just the enemy D.Va.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it's the toxic team play. Like maybe your D.Va's struggling, so you're trying to punish the enemy D.Va. Why? Just punish whatever's easy for you. That will indirectly help your D.Va trust, you know?
Okay. That makes sense.
You know? Like there's so many things that you can do to help your D.Va besides punishing the enemy D.Va. And so maybe like right now, dealing with Venture is fine, okay? Because Venture's close. And then now you can only see D.Va, so sleeping D.Va is fine. Okay, it gets Matrix, that's unfortunate, but that's okay.
Sometimes I throw the sleep at the D.Va to try and bait the Matrix, so I can hit the nade. I will say I do that sometimes.
Okay. Question: what are the odds that this nade hits?
I have no idea what the percentage is. I'm
gonna give you 96%. Okay, and let me explain why. You're still nading tank. I would prefer you to obviously game for the Cassidy there, but it's gonna hit both, right? So I hope the mentality here is not just nading tank, but the difference is that you're on an angle. Where's this D.Va's attention?
Yeah, not at me. So
you know what I'm saying? So she has to make a choice here, right? Now, I'm not saying that she couldn't eat this. She could. It just would be very difficult to do so. So this nade is good. Now, you're also maintaining distance, and you have a wee bit of cover. You fumble her. Yeah, right. But this is where like the execution is terrible, so you need to slow it down. But the intention was good.
It's also because I get used to having bounce, and then when we start the game and I don't have bounce, I'm like, oh god, it didn't bounce.
Yeah. I'm actually so thankful. Like, I think they're actually removing that now. I think they're actually the bounce doesn't ante anymore. I might be wrong with that. I honestly can't remember. That might be wrong.
That'll be interesting.
But yeah, this is good. We have got some distance. This is too close. Yeah. Proximity and cover are a huge problem with you. Huge problem. So you're interpreting aggression as getting in people's faces and knocking their teeth in. That's not what Ana does usually, right? You need a little bit more subtlety. You need a little bit more off angles, a little bit more cover. Not any less damage, not any less cooldown spam and offensive output, but just doing so a little bit more delicately, right?
Okay.
You're a rogue, not a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? In that aspect. Like right now, again, we're nading tank, which is just I want to weep, right? But like no, it's okay. It's what we're here for, right? But like this position right now, you don't need to do anything. You just shoot. You play. It's a shooting gallery for you, right? So this is kind of what we want. So as long as you stand here, and this is where I just scope in and just start pumping damage out. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is where Ana's a queen right now. You can do so much damage, so much healing. And then, you want to drop because they're now behind the corner here, sure. But you can tell right there, like, that was a really bad spot for the enemy team to be. Like, it just felt terrible, right? Like, you're going to hit nades and sleeps and shots, and it's just, you can heal and damage, it's just terrible. Again, it's D.Va first, right? It's a huge problem. And it's a problem because who else is aggressing right now? Do you see the enemy team?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a Mercy in the
Moira and
corner.
the
If you took
Venture.
2 seconds, it's Moira right there and Venture right there as well. Like, so like you could get anybody, and yet you chose the tank, right? So
I think part of it's also like the splash damage, where I think about like if I hit the tank and everyone's close to it, I'll get everybody else too.
right,
so.
right. I'm a big hater of splash damage reliance, though. That's always free value. It's never something you should be trying to go after.
Okay.
Because what ends up happening is you'll split the difference and end up missing everybody. I respect it. Finally. Now, you were slow to react to him there, but this is huge. Let's watch his... Look at his response. We're behind a wall. We're behind a wall.
Okay.
We're behind a wall.
Yep.
We're behind a wall. We're behind a wall. He doesn't do any damage for a long period of time. That nade saved your life. If you don't nade him there, he's going to kill you.
Yeah, especially with that Mercy pocket, for sure.
Yeah. That's what we needed. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't great. You didn't get a kill off of it, but it was the right thing to do. Where should you be positionally right now?
Probably back more into the corner.
Yeah, okay, it's priority for you is corner, right? But yes, probably a little bit back more as well. Now, where could that be? We have a lot of options here, right? Like, I'd say there's probably 3 different positions scaling from aggression.
Yeah, probably either the door frame, and
Right or
like on the left, or the
Yeah,
right
right here.
as well, because then I have the 2 exits that I can get off either to the right.
It's
or
a little
behind
close,
me.
but at least have cover, right? Like, you could sneak up and do something silly here. You can hold the store frame here. You can hold the store frame here. Heck, you could even back up all the way to here and just pop, 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 pop from here. This is definitely the more passive, quote-unquote, play, but you have a nice sight line. Yeah. Oh, that was close. We're a little rushed through the nade, but it was a good idea. Just use the nano. Yeah, do you see? Look at where you are. My goodness gracious. You are literally in... you were like going Rambo mode. And this is inevitably what's going to get you killed, is because you're not just too close, you're surrounded, right? You don't really have an angle. You don't really have a sight line. The sleep was good. The nade attempt was good. The nano was good. The damage, healing, whatever was good. You're just in the middle of Guam. That's it.
Okay.
Consistently. I want you to think exclusively, I want an angle or a sight line with cover, and that's it, right? It can be medium range, it can be long range, it can be even close range, but I need cover.
Yep.
I need to not be in the middle of the enemy team. And if you could do that,
I'll work
then
on
we
that.
could just like this right here, for example. Technically, probably a little bit too close to Diva, but to be honest with you, I don't care because you're going to have cover. That's fine. So this is like really aggressive, but this is really good.
I was gonna take it, and then I saw him hit that shot, and I was like, one more shot, I'm gonna go help the team.
Yeah. I mean, but you can do and go and do it again, right? Like, you don't have to stay there. The thing is they could pop the nade and hit a shot, and then you're okay. Like, you're back to full again. Try again. I don't think that's a bad play. He just outplayed you.
Okay.
If he outplays you, that just means that you just need to get better at doing the play. It doesn't mean the play is bad. You know, see, because now the position here is that you don't have a sight line at all. Right? So if you wanted a sight line that's more passive but allowed you to do things, where would you go?
Probably the corner on the right hand side by the tree, over by the little right there.
Here or here, right? You can also go here as well. This is good as well. Like, this is probably a really nice little off angle right here. But we're kind of floating, you know, so you're not decisive about where to go, and so we've been chasing butterflies without really actually doing anything. Do you see, like, they're going to keep pushing hard until you start doing things, essentially, because your team is fighting 4v5 right now. There's no damage, there's no nades, there's no sleeps, and you know it. Like, you feel uncomfortable, so you're trying to walk forward, but look at where you are when you walk forward, right? You're just right behind your tank, standing in the middle of the open.
That's what I said. Like, I felt like this was a really bad game for me, because I kind of felt like I was everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just couldn't really get my footing in the game, because I was like I said, like, we had the sim that was trying to flank, we had the tracer that was trying to flank, the tank was like back behind but also in front, so I was just having a hard time trying to figure out where a good place for me to put to give the most value was. So I just kind of felt like I was everywhere.
Okay, so this is a great opportunity for you here. So whenever I've asked you to kind of pause and decide where you wanted to go, you've come up with decent solutions. Maybe not always optimal solutions, but objectively better than what you would have done. And crucially, you've given yourself positions that you can at least experiment with, and you'll learn better for the next time, which is really what we're aiming for. Even if you don't make the right choice, you find out, you experiment, right? That's what's missing here. It's not necessarily the accuracy of the decision-making, it's the decision-making itself is absent. So when you're in these situations here, you made a decision to go left and then decided not to because you got shot in the head. Okay, fine. But then you stopped making decisions for the next 30 seconds.
Okay. Yep.
You understand? So the problem is that you didn't make a decision again. The problem was not that you made a bad decision. The problem is that you just then froze and didn't do anything the rest of the fight. So when I want you to practice, probably more so than any other skill that you're practicing, is being decisive about where I want to position and being willing to make mistakes, but never, ever, ever going with the flow with positioning. Never. Not when you're practicing your positioning. Hard flank again and die. Fine. Do it. Sit in the back line as far as you can and poke them from a million miles away and miss all your anti-nades because you're too far. Fine. Do it. Commit to something. Experiment. Think about it, provide feedback, try something different next time until you sharpen your positioning decision making. You know what you're looking for. You want a sight line, you want cover, obviously, but how deep of an off angle is good? When should you use the cooldowns? How far is too far? How close is too close, right? These are things that you're going to have to experiment with, right? But you're not learning right now. You're just kind of going through the motions. And by right now, I mean this particular moment, right? And so, there's nothing to learn here. Like even here, right? This is completely autopiloted from you. Right? I appreciate that you're trying to do some damage and trying to get some healing, but this is an optimal spot to do it, right? Where's the optimal spot to do it? Well, I don't know.
Definitely way back further.
Where? Give me, I don't know. There's not an objectively correct answer, so give me some subjectively good,
so I mean, like, if
solution.
you're talking about being aggressive and committing to something, I could have gone up to the side to the right and dropped the nade down and just said, let's see if this does something.
It's crazy, but if you hold your sleep dart, maybe you could get it. You could definitely pop the nade here, right? Not here, but here. And then hold the sleep in anticipation of the D.Va or Moira pushing you and try to clutch it out. Yeah. Okay,
and then if you want to be like more offensively or passively, probably further back and just hold the long range.
Like
and
where?
Just do the healing right here. Like down, if you were to go down by the
like here?
hold it here. And just do constant healing.
Yeah, you see it. Like, not just constant healing, but also constant damage because you're not under any threat at all. So you could literally just turn your brain off and play aim trainer, right? Okay, that's exactly, you nailed it. Congrats. You just got the dichotomy right there of like more passive sightline, more aggressive angle, but doing so decisively. I won't talk about the nade and take. That point is just a broken record, A lot of it is also just because that's the only thing that you're allowing yourself to see because of how you're positioned. You've never really given yourself an angle to see anything else. And then now obviously we're in the open, so it's spooky.
Yeah, it's also because I noticed that, like, I think for this one, like, I also noticed that my team was trying to flank so much that it was like if the bot just keeps moving and everyone's trying to flank, no one's on the point. And I hate when my team is so focused on trying to get the kill that they completely forget that there's an objective in the game. So I tend to stand where the push bot would be. So I'm like, okay, at least if it gets to me, I can contest it for a second.
Yes.
I guess I just got to let that, like, to the mentality point, I guess I just kind of got to eat it. If the team's not willing to push the point, I'm a squishy. I can't really do anything about it.
Right. Well, it's yes and no, because the other question is, why is the bot been allowed to push so far? It's because you're not contributing anything. So, like, if you look back into, like, this situation here, the reason that the bot kept moving is because you were playing a hero down. I agree with you that at some point you do have to look at the objective, but if you go on an angle, you kill people faster so they push the objective further. You kind of get what I'm saying? Or they don't push it as far.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then, like, right here is a perfect example of, like, our team starts to get a little bit of a push, and then everyone forgets about the objective, and they just keep going and going. And then, as Ana, you don't really have that mobility, so I'm like, okay, I'm not adding any value here either, because I'm like, yeah, I'm pushing the bot, but all my team is taking damage. Like, that's kind of where my head was also at. That's why I don't play very far back with her. I don't like to, because I feel like if there's something that happens, unless someone's giving me healies, I'm not getting there to help.
Sure. Okay, let's take some notes here. So, what are some points of practice for you? I'd say there's a couple of things that we can practice, but what came to mind to you?
Definitely, like I said, positioning, but figuring out if I want to do an offensive or a defense positioning, but also the biggest thing you mentioned was cover. Looking for not the tank to nade. Yes, it does help, but looking for someone that maybe I could push back to get some of the pressure off, I think are the two biggest things that you mentioned. Is like looking for the better nade. Maybe it's not a bad nade, but a better nade.
Yeah, just taking your time with nade, being a little bit more deliberate with your target. Exactly.
Yep. Decisiveness. So like if I'm going to do something, commit to the bit.
Decisive cover. Decisive positioning. Like, am I going to rotate to an angle, rotate to a sightline? Just never ever anything. Now, we're not practicing both. Like, you're going to have games where you only focus on your nade. You're going to have games where you only focus on your decisive positioning, right?
Okay.
And then for you, the final thing I'd say is just being a little bit tighter with when you're under pressure. The jumping thing is you can practice on in micro. But okay, any questions?
No. Honestly, that's